welcome to the Loving Path podcast, episode 13. Today's Saturday, September 21st. Happy autumn equinox. I love autumn equinox. I love autumn. I'm so glad it's here. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I have said 1,000 times. I'm so glad it is finally autumn. Although yesterday was 1,000 degrees, it did not feel like autumn. But it's starting to cool down a little bit. By cool down, I mean mid, like 20 to like 15 to 20 Celsius. Anyway, this is a podcast about knitting and dyeing yarn, and I stumble over this every time. Knitting, dyeing yarn, homeschooling a little bit, simple living, and me just being as true to myself as I can. My name is Debbie if you're new. Thank you for checking me out. And if you're returning, thank you for coming back. I know I was so overwhelmed with the lovely response I got. Episode 12, after I'd been away for 4 months, it was so nice to have you all excited to have me back. It was lovely to be back. I was really missing being here, just life, right? Like it happened. So I'm here and I'm gonna try and get in every 3 weeks or so, depending on what's going on in my life. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit easier and sometimes it's a bit harder, but we're just trying to work that out. It's just one of those, gotta go with the wind, you know? Anyway, so it's autumn equinox and it's so gorgeous outside today. I actually didn't look at the temperature, but it's certainly 20 plus something out there. I'm in a t-shirt, so it's not cold, and all our windows are open. And I'm the kind of person that if the windows are open and there's a breeze and it's cool, I either close them or I need to be wearing a sweater. So it's quite nice out. Fred has just taken, I just do this because it's all windows over there, and so I'm looking outside. Our backyard's full of trees, which is nice but messy, and I haven't been able to cut them back for the last couple of years, and so now they're a little overgrown, and that's a whole other story. Fred just took Isaac to his rehearsal. He got cast in his new show, which is so thrilling. He is in a show called Rockin' Robin Hood. At first, we were like, I don't know, because there were a lot of other great shows that he would have loved to have been in. But we are big adherents to trust the process when it comes to theater, because, you know, someone who up top who's making these decisions, they kind of know what they're doing. And we've never had a show that we didn't like. He had one show he didn't love, but it wasn't even that. I think he was, I don't know. I don't even know what it was. But we mostly loved all of our shows. And I loved the show that he didn't love. It was great. But anyway, so now he's super excited. Now that he's gotten into rehearsals, and they're rehearsing 3 times a week. He's rehearsing on Monday from 7:30 to Monday 7 to 9:30. Always mess that up. Goodness me, Friday from 4:30 to 7, and Saturday from 3 till 6. So 3 times a week. Our weekends are pretty much gone. We went last Sunday to my mom and dad's for just the afternoon. It was almost, I think it was over 30 degrees. And so we knew it would be the last time that Isaac could really go and play in the pool. And I even went in. My mom was so sweet, and she put she knows I don't love to be wet, and I don't love cold water. So you'll never catch me swimming in the Great Lakes when we go. We are kind of nestled in between Lake Erie, Lake Huron, and then, oh, little mama wants to come in. You just have to wait, sweetheart. Sorry. Okay, one sec. Okay, I'm back. So we're nestled in between the Great Lakes, Lake Erie, Lake Huron, and then Lake Ontario closer to Toronto. And just gonna try and come up here and bug me. Though I will never go in the Great Lakes. They are so cold. Isaac swims in them all the time. My husband will go in. I just happily knit on my blanket. But my mom had the pool at 90 Fahrenheit, which is over, like, I don't know, over 30 degrees, 32 degrees, I think, Celsius, or 32 and a half. And so it was amazing. She's like, just step on the step. And I stepped on the step and I thought, this is like bath water. It was just incredible. So I didn't bring a swimsuit because I never do, because I never go in water. She's like, you don't know that? I'm like, I do know that. I know I won't go in. So I borrowed her partner's swimsuit. And that was great. And I got to go in, and she laughed at me. She's like, I've never seen you spend so much time in the pool. Except for when I was a kid, we had a pool, and I'd always go in. And I said, it's amazing. It's just like being in a 3-hour bath. But the water doesn't get cold. Oh my god, it was so good. Anyway, I don't know why I was telling you that. Autumn equinox. Now I lost my train of thought. Rockin' Robin Hood. Oh, weekends. Weekends are gone. So Sunday we went to my mom and dad's. And tomorrow we'll just relax because we can't do anything today or last night. Or can't do anything for weekends. Yeah, but it's really, really great. So Rockin' Robin Hood is an origin story. Robin Hood and his twin sister Hazel come to town, and this is before he's Prince of Thieves. And of course this is Sheriff of Nottingham, who is just a piece of work. And just wants all the money for himself, and so he kind of is engaged, I think, to be married to Lady Blackwood, and they decide to start taxing the people more heavily so that they can have more money for themselves. They've got some great songs about that, which Isaac has been, they're not his songs, but he's been singing them, and I'm like, oh my god, please stop. That's getting annoying now. But I'm talking like 1,000 times a day, like non-stop all day long. And then so Isaac's part is Sam. He's an orphan, and he is one of kind of Robin's, kind of helps Robin. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. If he actually kind of helps, he defends Robin and kind of helps him become Prince of Thieves, like sticks up for him and has his back. But the exciting part was that when they were doing their audition, so they get cast in a specific show, but then they always have to audition for a part in that show. So we knew he had Rockin' Robin, but we didn't know what his part would be. So we had to audition. So we did that, and then I was away at a show, and he didn't tell me because he didn't want me to get too excited for him or get my hopes up. So he'd wait till I got home till after he had his part, and then he told me that he got a call back for Robin Hood. So we got a call back for the lead, which is amazing. Now, of course he didn't get it. Not of course. He didn't get it. He didn't get it, of course, because I told you he didn't. But he didn't get it, and that's fine. He didn't want it. He actually really wanted Sam, so he was thrilled with his part. But I said to him, be proud of yourself, because this means they think you're ready, that your audition was stand out. And he does sing that song. He sings Consider Yourself from Oliver this past time, and he sings that song so well. So I said, you were second in line for the lead. Like, this barely gets better than that. So anyway, his part's really great. He gets to crack an egg on top of the sheriff's head, and he's got lots of lines and some solo singing, and he's just tickled pink. So we are excited about that. We got our subscription to Original Kids, so you will be hearing lots about all the shows that we see. What else did we do? Today, tickets went on sale for the general public for shows today. And for the field trip they do every year, I don't know if I told you guys this last time. I think I did. We went and saw Come From Away in Toronto as a field trip with Original Kids. So they hire a bus and they buy a block of tickets and we all go. They have less tickets this time, but the show is Dear Evan Hansen, which if you are into musical theater, you will know has been a huge hit. And it's so good. I haven't seen it, of course, but the music, I can't even listen to the music without bawling, and I haven't even seen the show, so I don't have all the context, but I have a pretty good idea. And tickets went on sale at noon today. It is currently 3:30. Tickets went on sale at noon, and they were sold out before Tickets went on sale at noon, and they were sold out before 12:30. We have some good friends who didn't get them, which is a bummer because Isaac and his one friend always would go together. Like we went last year and did a 3-hour bus ride down to Toronto, including a stop, and they just sit and chat the whole time, and a bunch of kids go and it's fun, and we go for lunch when we get there, and he's gonna be bummed out because he doesn't know yet that they didn't get tickets. But she logged on at 12:23 and she said they were sold out already. Only 40 seats this time. I think we had 80 last time. Anyway, I'm rambling, but that's gonna be amazing. So we're super excited about that. Yeah, and then I guess things that have just happened. I did the Kitchener Waterloo Nurse Fair on September. My mind's all over the place. Yeah, September 8th. Oh my god, it was so great. And for those of you who I know have watched me a bunch of you had said, oh, I've watched your podcast. Thank you for introducing yourself. That is just so lovely to meet you, knowing that you've been here and checking me out. It was such a treat to meet so many amazing knitters and to see things that you've made with my yarn, things that you've made, just, you know, popular knits that are, you know, really hot right now. To meet other dyers. Oh, it was just so much fun. Oh, it was so much fun. And I haven't done that before because every year something conflicts with that date for me, and so I've not been able to apply. And then last year, the date that I had conflicted freed up, and I didn't have to do what I had to do, right? I didn't have the commitment, so I could have vended, but instead my friend Christine and I went and just shopped, and we had a really good time. That actually, I think, was the first episode of my podcast, which I think that podcast anniversary must be coming up pretty soon. Anyway, it was so much fun. I had such a blast. So if I met you there and I saw you there and we chatted, thank you. Oh my goodness, I just had the best time. But we were pretty exhausted. My friend Christine and I went down Friday. We stayed we set up. We stayed in a hotel where we didn't sleep at all. Like, I think she dozed off for like an hour, it sounded like, and I was like the whole night wide awake. Just sounds in the room, and I'm a really light sleeper, so it was just tricky, you know? It was pretty hot in the room, and so the air conditioner kept coming on, but it would come on like every 5 minutes. So just as you kind of start to fall asleep, it kicks in, and it's a small room and it's really loud, and then you kind of get into the groove of that, and then it goes off, and then you're like, oh my God. So it's just this the right amount of noise, no noise, the right amount of noise. And I like white noise when I sleep. I usually have a fan in my bedroom going, or I have an app on my phone when I'm traveling. But, you know, you're sleeping with somebody else in the same room, sharing a room, and I didn't really want to bug her, and so I had it on, but quite low. Anyway, I think it was enough to keep her up, but it wasn't enough to make me sleep. So it was either way, it sucked. But we got up in the morning, went and had our breakfast, which was great, and headed over and finished setting up, and then did a tour of the place. And anyway, it was so much fun. I can't wait till next year already. So yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, I guess I'll just get on with things, because I could talk all day about things that we've been up to. I'm trying to think of anything else I'm leaving out. Isaac started his piano and voice lessons again. He's studying for his grade 2 piano. No, he's not. Yes, I don't know. I forget what grade he's in piano. But it's grade 2 voice, I know that much. So that's good. And he's just come so far. He sings now. He's really opening up, and his voice is starting to drop a little bit. And if you guys know anything about vocal singing and voice and stuff, like, it's really starting to get a little bit of a vibrato going on, and just means that he's really becoming comfortable, and like things are loosening up, and he's not forcing things, which is amazing. Anyway, it's been good. It's been good. And now we're expecting friends from England in a week and a bit. I think today is Saturday. I think they're coming a week Monday. They're going to be in Toronto for a couple of days, and they're coming to us a week Monday. And we're going to Niagara Falls. So I haven't been in ages, probably since I was 18. Fred hasn't been in ages, and Isaac's never been. Now, funny enough, my friend Sarah, she's from Ireland, and they live in London now, her and her partner. He grew up in London. She's from Ireland. She was here years ago. I don't know how many years ago. Like 17 or 18. She came for a year work visa. And that's where we met. And then when we went over to the UK in December 2016, through to January 2017, we stayed with them for 4 days. And now they're coming here. She's been to Niagara Falls. This will be her 4th time, which is hysterical. Because, you know, living so far away. But she must have gotten a bunch when she was here for that year. And anyway, her partner's never been. So that'll be fun. We're going to go down and hang out together. And they'll stay here for a couple of nights. And then, my goodness, and then on the 17th of October, I'm going to Rhinebeck. And I've talked about that a little bit, but I'm getting quite excited. We've booked our flight. We have booked all of our accommodation. So if you are going to Rhinebeck, I will just put this out there. Come find me, because I will have some yarn and maybe some other little treats. We'll see. So definitely come find me. I'll try and be at the podcasters meetup, but who knows? I don't know how it's gonna go. So keep an eye out for me. I'll probably have my Loving Path bag. Don't mind this, it's quite dirty right now. So if you see me walking around with that bag, come say hi, grab some yarn, and have a chat. That'll be fun. I'm really excited. We didn't get tickets to Indie Untangled. I think they sold out like in record time because they've done it new. I don't know if they did tickets before. I'm not sure. But this year they did tickets. They moved to a new event and they wanted to have it timed so that it wasn't overwhelming like last year, which was crazy. But we didn't get tickets, and that's okay. We're actually okay with that because I can get all. I think I said this last podcast. I can get all the indie dyed yarn that I need here in Ontario and whatnot. So we're just gonna go and look for some good rustic wool. Okay, now I feel like I'm repeating myself from last time, so I'm gonna move on from Rhinebeck and get into some knitty stuff after I have some tea. Hi, little mama. She's on the couch, licking herself clean. Hi. I don't drink tea much anymore. I've really tried to stop because it really dehydrates me. But in the winter, like, I like a warm drink. Actually, in the summer, I like a warm drink. So when I podcast, I kind of save it for special occasions. When I podcast, usually at Isaac's voice lesson every Tuesday, his voice teacher makes us tea. And it's just a little teacup, so it's not very much. And sometimes if it's quite chilly, I'll have a cup, but that's it. Otherwise, I'm drinking a lot of water, trying to keep myself hydrated. And then, especially coming into winter and fall, right? You just get so dehydrated. It's the worst for me. Anyway, I don't have any finished objects today. But you're probably not surprised by that. So it takes me 1,000 years to knit anything. But I can show you all the progress I've made on my Tecumseh sweater. There is a town near us, for those of you who don't know. It's not really a town. I think it's more like I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's a suburb of Windsor, Ontario. But it's called Tecumseh. And this sweater makes me think of it. Although it's not named for that town. I believe it's an Aboriginal First Nations name. And I will write down below what that means because I don't actually know what it means. My bad, I should have looked that up. Anyway, oh my goodness. I love it so much. I haven't knit on it in a few days because I've been super busy. You might be, if you're familiar with this pattern, the divide for sleeves is actually after this round, so down here, but down here, right? So you would separate for the sleeves probably here. But like, if you can see me, that's a really low sleeve. Even though it's supposed to be poncho-like, it's quite low for me. So I did it between, I was gonna do it up above, but I just didn't want them to be tight either, because that's the worst when you've got a sleeve digging into your armpit. So I thought a little bit of room there is fine. So I did it between the crosses and these like banners. I don't know what you call them. I've been calling them arches, but I think they'd be more arches if they were upside down. So anyway, like the bunting type pattern. And that has seemed to be good. I can put it on, although it doesn't look really great on yet because it's not blocked. Sorry about all the clinking. You can hear them clinking. And it's not blocked, so it looks ridiculous. But it will be, I think it'll block out quite nicely once it's time. Get the idea. So then you can see how that is a bit more of a natural sleeve for where my armpit is. Yeah, that feels a lot better to me. So, but it looks great on people when they have it low. It works for them. It's just, I'm not a very big person, and my torso is certainly not long. So I feel like it was going to be starting like, well, I don't know, like, this is the top of my high-waisted skirt right here. So, you know what I mean? Having an arm, it just feels like it would be weird. My belly button's here. So it's like going to start my belly button. Probably not quite that low, but you know what I mean? Like pretty close. Anyway, it's okay. I think it's going to be great. And I just love how these colors are working out. I'm tangled. I just love how they're working out. It's just so pretty. So if you didn't watch last time, this pinky, it's really light pink. I think I've got one right here, but it's just not. this light pink. It's getting blown out. Doesn't look that great in the light, but it's called Ballerina. And then the green is Laurel. And these little buntings are Blood Moon. And they're just, it took me some time. I think I talked about this too before. I was going to do it green with this and another color, and I'm just so happy that I kept persevering until I found something I really loved. I really, really love this. It's great. So it's coming along. It's just slow going, but I think I should have it done in time for Rhinebeck, especially because I may not make it as long either. Again, I don't want it to cover my backside, and I think it will if I go as long as it's meant to go. So I don't know if that means I have to cut out one of the whole patterns. I have looked on Ravelry. I've seen a few different things. I've seen somebody eliminate the third repeat of this. Can't see it. The third repeat. The third repeat of this. Sorry, a friend just texted me and I got confused. Good friends of ours did not get tickets for Dear Evan Hansen, and yeah, did I already say that? Oh goodness, my brain's gone. I was gonna be upset, but oh well, it's life. Because it sold out like in really fast. I think I said all that. Anyway, so I can either eliminate the third repeat of this, which will be down here somewhere. I've seen that, people do that, and I've also seen people just eliminate this third round of this. So they put this in, but they don't put this in. And I feel like just two of these looks a little bit weird, 2 repeats, but I don't know what to do, you know, because you gotta modify it for your own body. And if you don't, then sometimes you end up with something that really doesn't look like a great garment. And I want to be able to wear this and not be like, oh. So we'll see what happens. It's so pretty though. That's driving me nuts. So that's coming along. And then I started something else. Oh, the pattern, in case I didn't mention, I know I didn't mention, is a Tecumseh sweater. I know I mentioned that. And it's by Boyline Knitworks. And you know, if you're familiar with, say, hot knitting patterns right now, you'll know who that is, and you'll know what that is, because it's everywhere. And I typically don't knit all the newest patterns, but I really loved the look of that when it came out. And then when I started to knit it and realized the sleeves were quite low, I had to change it for myself. So, because I wouldn't knit something like that typically. Anyway, making new socks. I haven't knit socks in ages. I think the last sock I knit, I cast on like close to a year ago. Actually, probably last October. Didn't finish them. I'm not a sock knitter. They were Halloween socks and never got done. But here's a really lovely story. So my friend Danny is leaving Canada and going to France for at least a year. She's getting a work visa and she's gonna go over there and just explore and have fun. You know, she's young and she is at a place in her life right now where she doesn't have anything to tie her down. She doesn't have a relationship commitment. She doesn't have, obviously, children. She doesn't have a job that she is super attached to that she needs to stay in. Doesn't have a place to live. She got rid of her apartment, all that stuff. So she's at this really great place where traveling through Europe needs to happen, right? It's the perfect time for her, which I think a lot of us do that in our 20s. We go and backpack through Europe. So she's got some friends over there, and so she's gonna crash with them for a little bit, try and find some work, and just hang out. She's got some loose plans, but she was here. She's been a huge help to me this summer, helping me prep for shows and help vend at shows, and she's been amazing. So she was here on Wednesday because she'd left London and she came back for a couple of days, and so she came to visit. And we just sat around, we were knitting and things. And she finished these really great socks. I'm sorry if you can hear the noise outside. It's a big crash. She was knitting these really great socks in this yarn, which is just about everything. It was a center pull cake, and now it's a mess. But, so she finished her pair of socks, and then as she was doing up the toe, she's like, I'm gonna give you the rest of this okay. And she's like, then you can make socks and we can have matching socks across the miles. So sweet. So she didn't know what this was, and she posted a picture of it on her Instagram. And turns out, so I think she was gifted this. It was a one-of-a-kind skein. She was gifted it from a friend, and she'd lost the tag in the meantime. Turns out it's Yarn Indulgences, and it's cashmere. It's so lovely. And these are all my favorite. I actually had a colorway very, very, very similar to this, with the greens and the purples, and a bit of gold. And so I think this has inspired me to bring that back. It was a little bit different, but it was very similar. And just those rich, oh my goodness, saturated colors I love. So I've been knitting the sock. Just a Hermione's. So same as her. She's like, what sock are you gonna make? I'm like, I'm gonna make a Hermione's the same as you. They'll be matching across the miles in yarn and pattern. So I'm just slowly working on that. And I'm using my new Flexi Flips that I got at KW. What do you guys think of these? Have you tried them? I really love a DPN. I just do. And I find these are a little bit, take some time to get used to. And people say that for DPNs they're always in your way. I don't find that, but these I find they are. I think it's really just what you're used to. In Magic Loop it's fine, but I'm way too loose on Magic Loop. So these are like 2 DPNs joined with a cord. See that up there. And yeah, they're fun. And so you have half your needles on one cord or needle and half your stitches on another needle. And then they bend, so it's like a DPN in that way, and then you just use the third needle to knit. Don't know where I'm at here. And there's 2 different tips I'm not really good with. I think these are Addies, right? These are, so they're Addies, Flexi Flips. They're Addie Flexi Flips. Oh yeah, each needle end has sharp rocket tip on one end and a more rounded turbo tip on the other. I don't know, what do you prefer? I've been using the pointy one. What's that one called? The rocket tip. And I like them. But I like wood needles best. So I'm a funny girl. Yeah, so then, I don't know, I just kind of knit. I find that one gets in my way. But maybe it does for my double points too, I don't know. Oops. It's fine. Anyway, those are gonna be so nice, and they'll probably take me ages to make, but they'll be a nice, nice memory of her. It was such a sweet gift. So I'm just keeping those in my Needlecrafts Cozy, which I love, and housing them in my Birch Grove bag, which I know I've shown before, because I don't make socks very often, so I don't get to use this as much as I'd like. Just a pretty little sock sack. And that fabric, you can see it. So pretty. Hello, yellow. And yeah, so those are coming along. Those are my 2 whips that I'm working on. Not tons, but don't have a lot to do. I don't have a lot of time because I'm busy dyeing my advent calendar, which I was doing some this morning. I've got a few more days of just little bits here and there to do, and then I'm gonna get it all ready to mail out. So that's really exciting. Isaac has been, he's been handing me lists of songs from musicals every day. What about this song? What about this song? Like, I've pretty much got my songs set. So if you don't know what this is, I did an advent calendar this year called an Ode to Musical Theatre, because usually every month we do an Ode to Musical Theatre club, which has not happened for a few months because I'm just really not good with too much to do. Right? I dye in my kitchen. It's a little tiny space, so to have to prep for shows and then do a club, I know some people can do it, but I can't. I just can't. So I dropped that for a few months, and hopefully we'll get that back for November, the last 2 months of the year, and which means I probably dropped it for 6 months, which is nuts, but it's life, and we'll just keep going into the new year. yeah, and then, so he's handing me all this stuff, and I'm like, I've got all these songs. And so we're just trying to come up with a really nice balance of like older musicals and newer musicals and popular musicals and things that a lot of people wouldn't have heard of, because I like that kind of stuff. And a couple Disney things in there, but not too much, because I'm not a big Disney fan. I know, but I'm not. But there's a few things that we like. So we're doing a little bit of that. And it could be either stage or movie. Most of it's stage. I think there's a couple things that, at least one, there may be two, that are movie based, but most of the stuff I've seen. So I tried to really keep it from my perspective of things that I personally love, not just random stuff. So if you've ordered it and you're going to get it, it will be things that I've experienced live. And if I haven't yet, I will be soon, because there's a few that I know are coming up for me that I haven't seen yet, but I will be seeing. And there's one that I haven't seen at all, and I likely am not going to anytime soon, but we'll see. You probably can guess what that one might be. Anyway, been busy working on that, which has been a lot of fun. But I keep segueing, and I don't know why I'm segueing to those things. Anyway, back to KW, the Kitchener Waterloo Knitters Fair. Such a blast. And did a couple trades with people, which were really fun. I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm missing something, but maybe not. Look at this. Can't really see that pattern. It's not coming out there. It's a bit better when you get closer. It's getting lost in the light. Oh, this bag is so great. A, it's big, which I love. It's also it's lined with quilting, like with batting. Oh my gosh, it's so thick and kind of dreamy. I'm not so sure if this would be what I would take out with me, just because of its, I don't know, maybe a sweater, right, if you're knitting, because I like to knit when I hike and everything, so that would be really good for that. Anyway, so this is from Lisa of Sewing Shenanigans. She was the booth beside me in the micro market, and we chatted on and off throughout the show, and she had some gorgeous bags, but what she really had that was gorgeous were her quilts. She makes these incredible quilts, and she had some great success with them on that day, which is amazing because quilts are not cheap to buy. If you've ever looked at a handmade quilt, the Amish quilts, or anywhere that has like a quilting community where they sell their quilts at those kinds of markets and things, you know they're hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not more. And she had this one very special quilt that was very, very pricey, I think, to a consumer, like if you're not really used to that, but it sold, and I was so happy for her because it was gorgeous, and someone who bought that knew the value of what that was and the work that went into it, and that it was worth every penny. And I think it just validates the work we do, right? When people are not batting an eye at our prices, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'll pay that, and it's like, whoa, okay. So good for her. I was so, so happy for her. So we did a trade right at the very end, and she grabbed a couple skeins of yarn that she liked, and I in turn grabbed this because this color for me is, well, can you see my walls? I really like this color. I love it. So I get that, and again, look at the background, like this as well. So I got this little Notion pouch, which is kind of hard to get into, but I think I might just use it for little Notion-y bits, or I don't know. It was cute, and I liked those colors, so I might use it for coins, a coin purse. We'll see. So thank you, Lisa, if you watch this. Oh, it sticks. Love these both so much. So great. And then the other side of me was the lovely Melissa of Fibermancy, and she has amazing pins that she brings in to her shop, and I got a couple of those, and of course I can't find them all. If you saw on Instagram, you'll see the one that's a black cat, that's just his face, it says I love cats. So there's that one, and then I grabbed this one. Oh, that won't focus. Best camera on phones, it won't focus because it wants to see my face. Anyway, it's a piece of knitting, so black and silver knitting and hands knitting it. And the words on there say Stitch and Witch. I'm a bit witchy sometimes. And I love that. And this little llama, which I might use for a giveaway. So cute. And I got those. And so that was super exciting. I think that's all I got. I don't think I did any other trades. I did get some other stuff though. So I found that sweet little black one. I love cats. Yes, I do. You see my black kitty on the podcast and on Instagram. It's my baby. I love him. His name's Simon, and he has his own yarn color and everything, which is what my Zweig was made out of. He's so sweet. So, so there was that, and then I also wanted to grab some prizes for giveaways. So I went over to Spun Fiber Arts because we're friends, and I knew that Richard DeVries was going to be there, and we had chatted on Instagram about that, and I'd pop by and say hello. And he always has these great minis made up, and so I thought I'll grab a few of those as a giveaway. That'll be really fun. And as I was paying for them, aren't those so great? I kind of want to keep them for myself, but I can't. As I was paying for them, he said, "They're for your podcast?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Just take them." What? Okay. So, so that was really sweet. And then 5 minutes later, he ran over to my table because we were closing up. Show was done. Everyone was packing up. He came over and he gave me these. And he said, "Something else for giveaways. Just another little something." Oh my goodness, Richard. So nice. These are gorgeous. I feel like they have to go together. I don't feel like I can separate them. So this will be a prize for something in the future. Stay tuned for that. So if you don't know Richard DeVries, his company is The Yarns of Richard DeVries. Why? I don't know. I should start using my DSLR. Maybe it would be better. My phone's got such a great camera, but it won't focus on like things like this. Because it's too close. That's the problem. It will focus a ways away, but it won't focus super close. And that's the problem. But anyway, these are gorgeous, and I just thought these would look so nice knit up in something together. They're 100% superwash merino. There is Papino base, and so are these. So those are all going to be a giveaway at some point. And then speaking of giveaways, I also had ordered something from the lovely Howling Hills Studio. Oh, where's that? It's here. Because I needed to have this pin for myself. I know it won't focus. So it's a little a jar of jam that's been canned. And on it, the white label says, "Knitting is my jam." Oh my goodness, it's so cute. So I ordered that for myself. And oh my goodness, Heather was so lovely. And she sent some extra things for a giveaway in the future. I wish I would have ordered one of these for me. I was not thinking. But come on. It says Knit Nerd in the glasses. Knit Nerd. Yeah. You can get this off her shop, which I'll put down below. But they're so fun. My goodness. And then she sent a set of stitch markers with a little progress keeper as well. So those will also be part of a prize at some point. So I feel really spoiled lately. Some lovely people donate lovely gifts, and I feel spoiled with trades, and I feel like it's a little time for me to give something back. And this is long overdue, but second quarter for the Drawer Sweaters Cal 2018 knit along. I mentioned last time that Marg was the winner, and she knows that she's the winner, but we have not exchanged stuff yet, and she hasn't even seen what she's winning, so I'm going to show it right here for the first time. She's winning. Just get it all set up for you. She's winning. It's perfect for this time of the year. these two beauties. Both of these are one of a kind. And I think these will make a gorgeous two-colored shawl or a brioche project. Marg, if that's your thing. So pretty. And these are, colorways are Grouse and Copper Penny, which we no longer have here in Canada. It's an ode to the Copper Penny. So yeah, those two beauties. And with those, I'm going to throw in some lovely light bulb stitch markers, a bunch of those, and this fabulous little gadget. I think I showed this once before in the podcast. I got myself one, but I thought it would be a really good thing to toss in. So this slides on your finger when you're knitting, and when you have to do like, oh, I got it on the wrong way, I think. And you're doing row counts, and you just kind of can click how many every time you finish a row, and so it's just a tally counter, it says. I find mine really handy. I don't keep it on my finger, but I keep it close by. I find it gets in the way. But some people are very agile that way and it doesn't bother them. But for me, knowing me, I'd like it would be underneath my hand and it would just be a mess. And then you can reset it and it's great. That was a nice bright poppy color that you won't lose down the side of your couch, hopefully. So Mark, this is your gift. I will be in touch with you. I know how to find you, and we'll arrange a pickup for that or a drop off, whatever works best for you. So this is second quarter and some stitch markers that I don't have sitting here at the moment, but this is your second quarter prize for the knit along. You still have 9 days to enter for the third quarter. September 30th is the last day, and you will be getting a fabulous prize for that if you are drawn. So if you're new, the knit along is all about expanding our wardrobe and knitting ourselves a drawer full of sweaters. I'm a big garment knitter. I just love to make myself sweaters and my family sweaters. So you can knit anybody a sweater, but it has to be a full-size sweater. It can't be a baby sweater, but it can be a cardigan. Yeah, I don't even think I mind so much. What did I say about short sleeves? I can never remember. I feel like it should probably have sleeves. But unless I said before that it didn't have to, in which case it doesn't have to. I'm a mess, eh? Hot, hot mess. But if you go into the Ravelry group under The Loving Path in groups, you'll see all the instructions there and it'll tell you whether or not it needs to have sleeves. I forget. I'm a mess. And then enter your sweaters, just pictures. It doesn't have to be knit this quarter. You could have knit it in January. You can enter it in. And yeah, that'll be great. And then you'll get a prize I will draw on September 30th, and I will announce in the next podcast. And then there's one final quarter left, so that will be drawn on December 30th. So you've still got 3 months to knit sweaters for yourself, finish off all your whips, and get them entered in for a final draw. I think I might do this next year too. Just because I think it's a fun way to encourage people to make sweaters. Everyone's making them, why not have a knit-along that you can win some prizes? Or if you think it's too much, I might just do something different next year. But I like a year-long knit-along that I don't have to, you know, come up with new ideas all the time because that's just really hard on my little brain. I like to just keep things going. Okay. Gonna read my notes. Oh yeah, nothing much else to say, people. My shop was closed for a few weeks, but it's reopened and it is fully stocked. So if you're looking for things, please go take a look. Some things only have 1 or 2 because they've sold, right? So I don't have a lot of everything, but I have a lot of stuff. So if you need multiples of something that's in there, just let me know and I can, if it's not a one-off or a specialty colorway, I can certainly do up more of that for you. And I probably won't have another shop update until, where are we right now? Yeah, probably till the end of October. I'm not going to dye anything before Rhinebeck for the shop because I'm working on Advent. That needs to get mailed out, and then I'm going to be gone for 5-6 days. Come back, probably relax a bit because I'll be tired, and then get into the swing of things hopefully for a little bit of holiday stuff, maybe some pre-orders for Christmas colorways. And really, I've got 2 shows one in November, one in December that are local and just small, and then it's Christmas. exciting. I love Christmas. Yes, I think I mentioned if you see me at Rhinebeck, come say hi. I'll have yarn. I'm just reading my notes now. I'm all over the place. Oh, I know what's coming up. I think I already said that. Oh my god. This is a problem, right? I make notes, but then my conversation doesn't always take me in the vein of my notes. So then I start to go off over here, and then I'm starting to looking at my notes going, I think I already said that. Or if I said that. And so then I feel like I'm repeating myself 1,000 times. Forgive me for being rambly. I'm not sorry if you watched the last podcast. I'm not sorry, but just, you know, kind of sorry. Wee bit sorry. The Woodstock Fleece and Fiber Festival is coming up on October 13th, and they're having a podcaster meetup, which is exciting. It's the first year they've done that, and that's going to be in the festival barn at 1 p.m. I am going to try to attend that. It's not far from me, about 30 minutes, but it's also the Saturday before I leave for Rhinebeck. So like 4 days before. So I think it'll just depend on a million things, but I think I should be able to go for a little bit. And so I'm gonna see if Christine wants to come with me and just go and hang out, meet some people, meet up with some friends, say hi, and be a shopper, or at least a lurker, because I don't know that I really need to buy anything, but I'd like to wander around and actually look. I kept having people come to me at Kitchener-Waterloo, the Knitters Fair, and they had all this great stuff, and I'm like, I never would have found that stuff when you just do a quick little tour as a vendor, because you're busy and you're trying to get back to your booth. But when you're there's a shopper, you can actually take time to look through somebody's booth and see what they have. So yeah, the Flexi Flips I bought, but that was just on my quick tour around because Christine knew she wanted some, and so I'm like, I'll try them, and I bought a pair too, or a set. But otherwise, I didn't buy anything, except for the people who were on either side of me because they were closest. And I did get to be across the way from my friend Joy, who is the Anxious Knitter, and is the dyer behind Cabinet of Curios, and she had such beautiful yarn that I was a little bit envious of her entire table and the bags. So I commissioned her husband Luke, kind of like on the sly, like, oh, I need you to make me a bag. But I'm dead serious, Luke and Joy. I need that bag in that fabric that we discussed. But yeah, and so I went back at the end to look at the yarn. I'm like, all my favorite ones were gone. Like, she sold everything. It was so amazing. I was so happy for her because she was a little nervous that, you know, you don't know how it's going to go. It's your very first show, and I knew she'd rock it, and she did. So we just waved across each other every now and then when there was like a small lull where we're like, hello, hello. And that was great. But other than that, yeah, I think that's kind of everything. So yeah, one of the things shop-wise that I wanted to mention was a new kit that I just put in the shop. And I love it so much. Let's go this way. I don't know how you're going to see it. Anyway, it's this. I'll show you from the bottom. You can see the colors. If I could get that hand out of the way, that'd be really great. Oh my goodness. So we have these three beautiful colors. That's kind of getting washed out a little bit, that peach. I've got Nutkin, which I'm certain I've shown here before. It's just a creamy base with speckles of brown, little bits of blue and orange in there. So pretty. And then you've got When You Were Mine, which is a peachy pink with great speckles. Again, some blues and orange, browns. Love this. And this is new. This was a one-of-a-kind quite a while ago, but I was able to recreate it fairly accurately. It's called Pete. It's a dark, rich, reddy brown, peachy brown, speckles of black, browns, and those two together are just so nice. So it'd be great for a shawl, or if you want to fade a sweater, like I think that would be, if you don't mind like a starker contrast and not a subtle fade, and you're a smaller person and only need 3 skeins of yarn, that would be amazing. So all of my single ply, just polar fingering, 420 yards each, 100% superwash merino. So I wanted to show you that. There are other things in the shop that are brand new, but I didn't bring them all because, I don't know, I didn't feel the need to bombard you with 1,000 skeins of yarn. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye because my husband's gonna be home any minute now, and I feel the need to wrap this up before he walks in the door, because then I'll get really nervous. But thank you for being here, and sorry if it was a little weird. I felt like I had a lot to cover and not a lot to cover, which is kind of strange. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it so much. I will be back in a few weeks with, I think I'll be back, what day are we today? 21st? Oh yeah, I'll be back before Rhinebeck. Maybe. Oh, maybe not, actually. Probably be back after we go to Niagara Falls. Oh, that's only a week away. Oh my goodness, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be back when I'm back. How about that? That way you don't get your hopes up and I crush them. Don't want to crush them, of course. So yeah, I will be back when I'm back, but it'll be in October. And until then, thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. That would help other people find the podcast who are interested. Enter your sweaters. I really want to see them. I really want to. The first quarter we had lots of entries, and the second quarter not as many because I know I kind of dropped the ball, and the third quarter we'll probably have very few because, again, I've been really bad at. I was gone for 4 months, but I'm gonna put a big post on Instagram about the final stretch for the Cal. Get your sweaters entered. It's a chance to win some great prizes, even, you know, if you don't need yarn, but who doesn't want yarn? So come on over, and you might get some of these little goodies that I showed you today. I don't know. Otherwise, I'm gonna say goodbye. And I hope you have a fabulous autumn, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Happy knitting! Bye!